Hi, Peter Charles here, Food for Life Fly Fishing. And today we're going to do another Atlantic salmon fly. This time it's from Newfoundland. It's designed by a fellow by the name of Lynn Rich. And he actually designed it for use on the Margaree River in Nova Scotia, but he obviously would use it back home as well. And this is a fall fly, and it's predominantly blue and white. And he chose those colors because fall rivers are full of leaves. Orange, yellow, and red leaves. So if you have flies using those colors, the fish may not pick them up as easily as a fly that is a totally different color scheme, blue and white. So this is what he went with, and apparently it was very successful in its first outing. So as a fall fly, when there's plenty of leaves in the water, and I'm thinking of Oak Orchard in western New York. I fished Oak Orchard when it was a blizzard of leaves. You could barely get a swing through the drift without hooking up a leaf, and I've had days like that on the Grand as well. So I think any place that gets a lot of leaves in the middle of the fall, especially on a windy day, this might be a good idea to try. So let's get started and look at the materials. Our hook today is going to be the deep water salmon in a size 1. Our thread is black Vivus 8/0. Our tag is going to be Uni-French oval in a medium, oval gold. We're going to use a tail of golden pheasant crest. On the original pattern they call for a flat gold tinsel. Well, I have some flat gold, but it's too large. And so I'm going to be using this Mylar. It's a gold silver. I'll be using the gold side. The body is this royal blue floss. Interesting, when I was looking at this pattern, I saw the royal blue floss on the body. I went, there's no way I have any of that. I went up to my rack. There was a brand new spool I've never used. The wing is going to be calf tail, natural calf tail. We've had this discussion on another video about the fact I won't use polar bear hair, even though this pattern calls for polar bear. We're not going to be using it. And the hackle is this blue, kingfisher blue. So let's get started. Just bring your thread back to the hook point. Okay, we'll tie in our tag. Just get our thread out of the way. I'm just checking to see if I get some black showing. When you're coming around the hook point, sometimes it's easy to get some black showing there. So we'll just try to maneuver that a little bit. There we go. This is getting short. I'm going to put on my hackle pliers, make it a little bit easier to grip. Now I'm just going to check to make sure I don't have any gaps. No, I don't. Okay, that's good. Just keep it underneath. Trim off. Now we tie in our tail. And we're going to use golden pheasant. What I prefer to do with golden pheasant, especially on a relatively straightforward pattern like this, put a couple of wraps in and just pull and twist till you get it right. Hold it in position using relatively soft wraps so it doesn't get rotated. There we go. Perfect. Now for the mylar. And the floss. Now, as I mentioned before with in other videos, I tie my floss in front of the bump that's created by the other materials. And we're going to make 3 passes with this. Because we're going over black thread, it's important to get enough passes so your floss stays its actual color and you don't end up with a floss that is the wrong color because it's over black. Also, 3 passes gives me the opportunity to deal with that bump at the back and not end up with a very ugly looking lumpy body. So I'll just, one last turn there, I'll just bring it in, careful of the hook point. Turn there, bring it back. You're going to get a bit of a lump out of that, but you know, you try and minimize it as much as possible. Just come up on the return, tie it off. So it's not too bad. There's a little bit of a lump showing, but it's reasonable. Fold underneath to lock into place. And we tie off. We got a little bit of blue sticking up there. Watch out for strays with floss. You can get these bits sticking up. There we go. I mean, it doesn't matter to the fishing if your floss is a bit ragged, but yeah, affects the appearance of the fly. Okay, now for our tinsel, we make a turn at the back. I should say our rib. Then come forward. And just fold it back to lock in. Just don't move, fly. Trim off. Now we'll just clean that up. Now for the calf tail. Calf tail often has a curve to it and a twist, so try to find hair that has got some curve but not too much twist. Now this is kind of ragged, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clean this up and get it to the point where it's not too ragged. It's got some, get rid of the hairs that are real strays sticking out at odd angles. Also reduce the size of it a little bit. You don't want too much of a wing. I find a lot of people overdress these patterns. Just still not too bad. Take a little bit more off. There we go. The wing should go back to the about halfway down the tail. Trim that off. Okay, we're just going to put a soft wrap in here. Pull up, just a pinch loop. Bind that down. Bring your thread to the back. And we'll tie in our blue hackle. You see I've created a tying in point. Then we get my hackle pliers and just fold this back. And if you get any barbs going forward, just push them back. This one's being a bit stubborn. Sometimes when you wind hackle on, you find it wants to twist on you. And that's one of the differences between good hackle and crappy hackle. I'll just keep pushing back. Here we go. Just fold it underneath. Break it off. We just clean up the head. Whip finish. Now for some head cement. There we go, the Big Intervale Blue, named after the Big Intervale Fishing Lodge on the Margaree River, Nova Scotia. Designed to be a fall pattern with color scheme that'll stand out from the orange, red, and yellow leaves that'll be falling in the river in the middle of the fall. With this color scheme, it stands out so the fish can see it and separate it from all the leaves that are in the water. So I'd give it a shot for a fall pattern, and I think it'll be quite effective. So give it a try. Cheers.